I was sitting at the head of my Thanksgiving table, the same sturdy oak table I built with my own hands back in 1998 in the garage behind our house outside Indianapolis. That table had seen it all. My late wife Sarah carving the turkey while laughing at little Lauren's messy attempts to use a fork for the first time. Birthday cakes with crooked candles. Late night talks when Lauren came home, crying from her first heartbreak. Outside, the cold November wind howled and rattled the windows like it wanted in. Inside, everything looked perfect. The fire crackled warmly in the hearth. The turkey glistened with sage and butter. The kids Mia and Jake giggled and argued over the last dinner roll, and Lauren hummed softly as she carved another slice, her smile soft and genuine. And then there was Ryan. He stood right behind my chair, holding a fresh glass of bourbon he'd insisted on pouring himself. His smile was perfect, too perfect. White teeth, easy charm, the kind of smile that had fooled everyone for years. But when his fingers brushed mine as he handed me the glass, I felt it. No warmth, no family. Just ice, hunger, pure, calculated anticipation. A predator who believed the trap was finally springing shut. To family, Ryan said, raising his own glass, his voice smooth and polished like always. The people who stick together, no matter what. Lauren squeezed my hand under the table, her touch full of love and trust. The kids raised their juice cups in playful imitation. I brought the bourbon to my lips, felt the sharp burn touch my tongue, and I didn't swallow, not a single drop. As I reached for the cranberry sauce with my other hand, I let the glass slip just enough. The rest of the liquid poured silently into the big potted fern behind my chair, the dark soil swallowing every poisoned drop without a sound. No one noticed. They never did. But I had noticed everything. Every lie, every calculated touch, every step Ryan had taken toward erasing me from my own life. My name is Tom Riley. I'm 64 years old. For decades, I ran Riley Hardware on Main Street, a small, honest shop where neighbors came not just for nails and paint, but for the quiet advice I gave in the back room. Advice that fixed more than leaky faucets. It fixed broken marriages, worried parents, lost souls. One slow winter in the late 1990s, alone after Sarah passed, I tinkered with an idea. A simple adjustable shelf bracket that locked tighter and adjusted smoother than anything on the market. I patented it quietly. The royalties came in steady over the years. Never flashy millions, but enough to pay off this house, send Lauren through college without debt, and build an ironclad trust that would protect Mia and Jake's future no matter what life threw at them. I never flaunted it. I lived simply on my pension and the shop's modest profits. The safe in the basement held the deeds, the statements, the original patent papers. Always locked, always protected. Ryan had money, comfortable money from his sales job. He didn't need mine, but he wanted it, all of it. The house to flip or mortgage for his failing schemes. The royalties to fund his lifestyle. The trust to control. My entire legacy. And he was willing to destroy me, slowly, brutally, to get it. The betrayal didn't explode in one dramatic fight. It crept in like rot spreading through old wood, silent, patient, eating away at the foundation until the whole structure threatened to collapse. It started 6 months earlier, during one of those Sunday dinners Lauren had begun insisting on after Ryan got so busy with work. We were sitting in the living room after the kids went to bed. Ryan leaned back in his chair, swirling his coffee, and said it so casually it almost sounded caring. "Tom, this house is worth a fortune now with how the market's booming. An equity release could change everything for Lauren and the kids. Bigger home, better schools, no more squeezing into that tiny apartment we're renting." I looked at him across the table and answered calmly, "It's there when they really need it. For real emergencies." His eyes glinted for just a moment. "Sure, but think about us. Family helps family, right?" He reached over and brushed Lauren's hand in a way that looked affectionate, but I saw the ownership in it. From that night on, the small manipulations began piling up like invisible weights. The mail started disappearing. Not everything, just the important pieces. Royalty checks from the patent office, letters from my attorney, bank statements. I noticed because I had checked that mailbox at exactly 3 p.m. every single day for 30 years. The same discipline that made me open the shop at 7 a.m. sharp. When I mentioned the missing envelopes, Ryan chuckled over breakfast the next visit. Probably one of those phishing scams or mail thefts. Pop happens all the time to older folks. Lauren touched my arm gently, her eyes full of concern. Dad, you have seemed a little distracted lately. Maybe you're forgetting things. Forgetting. That single word landed like a hammer on cracked glass. Ryan had planted the seed, and he watered it relentlessly. I started to doubt everything, especially whether Lauren was truly in the dark or slowly being turned against me. The uncertainty kept me awake at night, staring at the ceiling, wondering if my own daughter was being manipulated into helping erase her father. One afternoon, I came home early from a VA checkup and found Ryan in the hallway near the basement stairs. The knob was rattling softly under his hand. When he saw me, he straightened quickly. Just looking for the extra folding chairs for movie night with the kids, he said with that easy grin. But his eyes darted like a thief who'd been caught casing the joint. The door was locked. I always kept it that way, but I knew he'd tried before. That same night, I installed the first hidden camera. Small, motion-activated, tucked discreetly in the garage entry. Over the following weeks, what those cameras captured turned my blood to ice and made my stomach twist with a darkness I'd never felt before. There was Ryan pacing in a driveway at midnight, phone pressed tight to his ear, voice low but clear. She's starting to crack. Keep feeding her the memory loss story every time she visits him alone. Tell her it's normal for his age, that he needs protection. Once he signs the power of attorney, everything transfers quietly. Royalties straight into accounts we control, the house leverage, the trust accessible. He trusts family. He'll believe it's for his own good. Lauren's voice came through the speaker, hesitant and pained. Ryan, he's my dad. What if he actually needs that money for his health or something? His reply was pure velvet wrapped around steel. Babe, this is protecting him. We'll put everything in good hands. Our hands. Think of Mia and Jake. They deserve stability, a real future, not whatever scraps he leaves when he's gone. Just sit him down next time. Cry if you have to. Make him feel like signing is the loving thing to do. He'll do it for you. He planned it all in layers. Forged signatures on practice sheets I later found hidden in his briefcase. One afternoon when he stepped out for a quick work call, I photographed them. The loops were almost perfect, but the pressure was wrong. A man who'd signed thousands of invoices over decades spots the difference immediately. He researched natural causes in elderly men and sedative effects on heart conditions on the family tablet. Browser history I discovered and quietly cleared after seeing it. He even had text from the woman he was seeing on the side. Once the old man's gone for good, we can finally stop pretending. No more sneaking around. Gone for good. Not out of the way. Gone. He isolated Lauren emotionally, bad-mouthing my stubborn old ways. During their private arguments, I overheard through the thin walls when they stayed over. Your dad's declining, babe. We need to get him evaluated. Maybe suggest a nice assisted living place where professionals can watch him 24/7. It's kinder in the long run. He made her question my competence in subtle ways during visits. Dad forgot where he put the car keys again today. It's happening more often, isn't it? Lauren would defend me at first, but her voice grew quieter, more uncertain. He was turning her love into a weapon without her realizing it. Lauren remained completely in the dark about the worst of it. She never knew about the poison. She never knew about the full extent of the financial forgeries. She was being manipulated, gaslit, and used, but she still loved me. That made the eventual reveal so much heavier, so much more devastating. Thanksgiving was supposed to be his clean, final move. The day built with unbearable suspense. I woke before dawn, my hands shaking slightly as I stuffed the turkey and set the table with Sarah's good china. The kids ran through the backyard, kicking leaves, their innocent laughter the only thing keeping me grounded. Lauren helped in the kitchen, her smiles real and warm whenever the grandkids clung to her legs. But I caught her glancing at Ryan with subtle worry when she thought no one was looking. He arrived late, carrying expensive wine and wearing that predator's smile. Let me handle the drinks, Pop. You've done enough today. Relax, you deserve it. I watched him in the reflection of the kitchen window as he poured. The quick, practiced movement, a small vial from his pocket, clear liquid tipped into my usual bourbon glass. Enough sedative to trigger dizziness, heart palpitations, maybe a full collapse that could look like a natural stroke or heart event in an older man with minor blood pressure issues. In the chaos of a big family holiday meal, it would be perfect. He'd be the hero calling 911, comforting a devastated Lauren, quietly sorting the estate paperwork while I was in the hospital or worse. My heart pounded so hard I could feel it in my throat, but my face stayed calm. I carried the glass to the table. Every bite of turkey tasted like ash. Every laugh from Mia and Jake felt borrowed from a life that was slipping away. Ryan's gaze burned into me across the table. He checked his watch twice, his foot tapping subtly under the table, waiting for the moment the drug would hit and everything he wanted would finally be his. The tension coiled tighter with every passing minute. The fire crackled too loudly. The kids' chatter felt distant. I could feel the weight of every betrayal pressing down on my chest. I raised the glass during his toast. The rim touched my lips. The burn teased my tongue. No swallow. The deliberate slip. The poisoned bourbon poured silently into the fern. I had already saved a small sample in a hidden vial earlier that morning. Minutes dragged like hours. The room pressed in around me. Then I began the act, hand to my chest, a slow, convincing stagger, the chair scraping loudly against the floor. Whoa, the room is spinning. My voice came out weaker than I felt. Lauren screamed, "Dad." Mia froze with terror in her eyes. Jake stared, his little face pale. Ryan rushed over instantly, his hand gripping my shoulder in fake support. But through my half-closed eyes, I saw the truth in his face. His eyes lit up with raw, hungry triumph. Pupils blown wide, lips twitching into the ghost of a smile he tried to hide behind fake concern. He whispered under his breath, so low only I could hear, "This is easier than I thought." They helped me to my feet. I stood perfectly steady. The room went deathly silent except for the cooling turkey and the crackling fire. I turned slowly and locked eyes with Ryan. Intense, unblinking. I poured every single betrayal, every lie, every drop of poison, every manipulation of my daughter into that stare. The cameras, the notebook, the toxicology sample, the text about making me gone. All of it. The silence stretched agonizingly. A full minute, maybe more. The kids shifted uncomfortably. Lauren whispered, her voice breaking, "Dad, are you okay?" Ryan's perfect mask cracked. Sweat beaded on his forehead. His hands trembled. His breathing grew shallow. Finally, I spoke, my voice low and calm, carrying the weight of months of silent suffering. "Hope all this is good?" He stuttered, the smooth salesman voice completely shattered. "Why, celebration's great. Everything's fine." I nodded once. "Good." I sat back down as if nothing had happened. Past the gravy. The rest of the meal dragged in forced, awkward small talk. Ryan barely touched his plate. He excused himself to the bathroom twice, his face pale. I could feel his panic rising like a storm he could no longer control. For the next several weeks, Ryan actually believed he was winning. He grew bolder, more arrogant. He started dropping heavier hints about updating the will and getting Dad's affairs in order before it's too late. He'd pat me on the back a little too hard, call me old-timer, with a laugh that now carried open contempt. One evening, he even pulled Lauren aside in the kitchen while I pretended to nap in the living room. "Babe, that dizzy spell at Thanksgiving? It's a sign. We need to act fast before something worse happens." Lauren looked torn, still completely in the dark, defending me softly, but starting to waver under his constant pressure. I let him think he was untouchable. I watched him celebrate small victories, a new watch he bought on credit, bragging about future plans that included the house money. His mistress texted more openly. His desperation turned into cocky delusion. The suspense built inside me like a pressure cooker, the knowledge that every arrogant smile was digging his grave deeper. Then, in mid-February, the night came. I invited them over for a quiet family dinner. Ryan arrived swaggering, convinced the old man was finally breaking. Lauren brought the kids, still unaware. After the meal, I asked the kids to play in the backyard and turned to Ryan and Lauren in the living room. I placed a thick file on the coffee table. Then I started throwing the evidence in his face, one devastating piece after another. First, the printed forged signatures with expert analysis. These are yours, Ryan. Every loop, every practice sheet. Papers slapped onto the table. Ryan's face twitched. Then I hit play on the TV. The driveway footage rolled. His midnight phone call, word for word. His voice filled the room. Once he signs, everything transfers. Lauren's hesitant replies. His manipulative answers about protecting him, and good hands. Ryan jumped up. This is fake. You doctored it. I threw the toxicology report next, the one confirming the exact sedative in the bourbon sample from the fern. You poured this into my glass. At the table, in front of the children. He lunged for the papers, denying wildly. It was stress. The debts. I never meant to kill you. Just scare you a little so you'd sign. Lauren stood frozen for a second, her world shattering. Then she snapped. She slapped him hard across the face. The sound cracked like a whip. You poisoned my father. At our family table, with Mia and Jake right there, tears poured down her face. You made me doubt him. You told me to push him to sign the papers, said it was for his own good, that we'd keep everything safe. I believed you. I defended you. I feel disgusting, used like I betrayed my own dad. Ryan staggered back, holding his cheek, eyes wild. Lauren, baby, please, it was for us. For the kids. He was going to leave us nothing. I stepped closer, voice low and steady. You were burying me alive, and now the grave is yours. He broke completely, kneeling, sobbing, begging. I'm sorry, the pressure, the woman. I lost control. No charm left. Just a pathetic, exposed man. Lauren turned away, shaking. Get out. I never want to see you again. The police arrived minutes later. Walt had arranged the timing. Cuffs clicked on Ryan's wrists as he was dragged out screaming denials and threats. You set me up, old man. This isn't over. His voice echoed down the driveway, broken and desperate. The revenge was complete in its slowness and precision. Over the following months, Ryan's life dismantled piece by piece in the most public, humiliating way. Court dates dragged for weeks. Every forged document, every video, every text was presented in hearings. His mistress testified against him for a deal. News of the Thanksgiving poison plot leaked locally. Whispers at the grocery store, stares at the gas station. His job fired him. Creditors seized everything. He ended up in a cheap motel, alone, broke, and marked forever. Lauren and the kids moved home. The emotional fallout was brutal at first. Mia woke screaming for weeks. Why did Daddy try to hurt Grandpa? Does he hate us? Jake became quiet and clingy, asking every night, are we safe? Will Daddy come back angry? Lauren carried crushing guilt. She'd cry in my arms for hours. I was so blind, Dad. He used my love for you against me. I feel like I almost lost you because I trusted the wrong person. I held her, telling her the truth. You were in the dark. He was the monster, not you. Healing came slowly, one gentle day at a time. We talked late into the nights. I fixed bikes with the kids in the garage. We cooked Sarah's old recipes. Laughter returned in small bursts. Lauren started seeing a kind, steady teacher from the school, someone who earned trust the right way. The children warmed to him gradually, their questions about Ryan fading as new memories filled the space. A new beginning bloomed quietly, like spring pushing through frozen ground. The house filled with real joy again. The trust stood unbreakable. I hung the old Riley hardware sign above the mantel, a quiet symbol that some foundation survived poison, lies, and betrayal. Peace settled like the first calm after a brutal storm. Greed had been exposed in the harshest light, and the truth, patient, silent, relentless, had won. If someone has ever smiled across the table while pouring poison into your life, remember this. You don't have to drink it. You watch. You document every shadow. You let silence and truth do the heavy lifting. And when the predator finally stares back into the mirror of what he's become, he breaks himself. Subscribe for more twisted betrayals and the long, silent roads to justice. Tell me in the comments, have you ever been manipulated by someone you trusted while the person you love stayed completely in the dark? Like if quiet, patient strength feels like the most powerful revenge of all. See you in the next one.